वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ओम ज्ञानवृन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीनिधि नामिने। श्रीमाशबानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धे कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगा भक्तिदा श्रीगौरा करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तद्वान्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बारसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते। गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथायते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतोर्पङ्गुर् मामन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वापदाम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालभिसेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षं वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथः श्रीस्तुनः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम Rama Rama Hare Hare. Yatrashtravacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya Karpanya Dosho Bhota Svabhava Prichami Tvam Dharma Sammuda Cheta Nishreyasya Nishchitam Bruhitanme Sishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asochananvasochastvam Prajnavatamscha Bhashase Gatasu Nagatasumsya Nanusochanti Pandita Matra Spurshastra Kaunteya Sitoshna Sukha Dukkhada Agama Paino Nityas Tantrikshasa Bharata Karmannevadikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachana Ma Karma Phalaheturgur Ma Te Sangotsva Karmani Yayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangaste Shupajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamat Kamat Krodho Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha Sammoha Smrtivirbramaha Smrtirbhramschat Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashyati Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamayesha Krodayesha Rajoguna Samudbhava Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyenam Yhavairinam Karmannid Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Dhanirбhavati Bharata Dhanma Dharmasya Tadatmanam Sujamyaham Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Dushkritam Dharma Sansthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha Tektva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mameti Sorjuna Bhoktaram Yajñatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Surdam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantiricchati Yoginam Abhi Sarvesham Madgadena Antaratmana Shraddhavan Bhajate Yo Mam Same Yukta Tamo Mata Ahunam Janmanamante Gyanavam Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudarlabha Antakale cha Mameva Smaran Muktva Kalevaram Ya Prayadi Samadbhavam Yadinaschatra Samshaya Matram Pushpam Phalam Joyam Yome Bhaktya Priyachati Tadaham Bhakti Paratam Ashtami Prayadatmanaha Ham Sarvasya Prabhu Attas Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Mudabhava Samanvita Madchitta Madhyata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayantasya Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha Tesham Satayuktanam Radatam Priti Purvakam Tadami Buddhiyogam Dam Yenama Upayantite Teshamevanukampartam Amagyarajam Tamaha Nashayamyatma Bhavasto Jnanadiptena Bhasvata Matkun Vameshamanayo Ye Mam Tya Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetas Te Me Yuktatamo Mata Upadrashtanamanta Cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha Chapyukto Dehesmin Purushaparaha Mam Cha Vibhicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunan Samatityetan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate Miva Sammudo Janati Purushottamam Sa Sarvavid Bhajati Mam Sarvabhavena Bharata Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vacha Andvam Sarvapebhyo Mokshayishyami Masucha. So welcome all of you to the Sanjeevani program. For the past few months, monthly, we are sitting once and discussing about Bhagavad Gita. We are now in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. In the first chapter, if you remember, we discussed how Arjuna told Krishna, I don't want to fight. When he saw all his relatives in front of him, he was totally confused, he was totally stressed up, and he gave many reasons why I am not going to fight. In the first chapter, he gives 4 reasons. In the second chapter, he gives 1 reason. The first reason which Arjuna gave to Krishna why I am not going to fight was based on compassion. He says, how can Swajannam hi katam hutva? How can I kill my own relatives? It's not possible for me. Now the second reason which he gave was, even if I kill them, even if I win over them, even if I win the kingdom, how can I enjoy without my relatives, without my friends? Enjoyment cannot be done alone in this world. If you are alone with all the paraphernalia for enjoyment, you will not really able to enjoy it. When you have people around you, that is the time when you enjoy. Like you have party, you call all your friends, relatives. That is the time you show off. I have this much, I eat this thing, eat, drink, do all kinds of things can happen. So without friends and family, no enjoyment can happen. So Krishna, you are telling that I should enjoy the kingdom. How can I enjoy? Even if I win the kingdom, my relatives will not be there. Third reason he gave is that I don't want to fight because I'll incur sin. Killing people means sinful. And you may say that these Kauravas are sinful. Killing a sinful person is not sinful. But still, according to the scriptures of religiosity, I accept totally this point that how even killing a sinful person is sinful. So he was afraid of sin. The third reason which Arjuna gave was, I am not going to fight, it's because of sin. The fourth reason he gave the social reasons. If you remember, we talked about how Arjuna was convincing Krishna, I cannot kill because if there is a war, just imagine what will happen. All the elderly people in the society, they will die. When they die, there is nobody who can transfer the religious principle to the younger generation. When that is not there, Striyeshu Drishta Svarshnaya Vajayate Varnasankara, the women will become corrupt. When the women are corrupt, what will happen? There will be unwanted population. So there will be big havoc in the society if there is a war. And the cause for this havoc will be me and Narakeniyatam Vasu, I will be in hell. So I don't want to indulge in this war. In the second chapter, Arjuna gave this reason to Krishna, saying, Oh Krishna, I am totally confused. I don't know what to do, what not to do. He gave this reason of confusion. When you are confused, you cannot decide on what you are supposed to do, what you are not supposed to do. So in essence, Arjuna gave 5 reasons to Krishna why he is not going to fight. Now answering each one of the reasons, Krishna, he spoke the second chapter beginning with the 11th verse. 11th verse till the 30th verse, which you already discussed last time. That section of the entire 20 verses, 11th till the 30th, in these 20 verses, Krishna, he speaks to Arjuna that you are not this body or spirit soul. Oh Arjuna, you are thinking that you are going to kill Bhishma and all these people, you wanted to show compassion. Actually, even if you want to kill them, you cannot kill them. Even if you want to save them, you cannot save them. How? Arjuna was thinking that, oh, if I shoot an arrow, Bhishma will die. But Bhishma is not the body, he is the soul. Nainam chindanti shastrani, the soul cannot be destroyed by any weapon. And now, my dear Arjuna, if you think that if I don't kill Bhishma, Bhishma will never die, the nature of the body is death only, he is going to die. In both angles, with the perspective of soul, it will not die. With the perspective of the body, even if somebody wants to save the body, nobody can save because the nature of the body is death only. The body is always dead. So, in 20 verses, Krishna has explained that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. The knowledge of the soul was given by Krishna in 20 verses. Now, starting from the 31st verse onwards to the 37th verse, Krishna, he explains to Arjuna, you told that you can only enjoy with relatives. That means you cannot enjoy if you win the kingdom. Krishna explains to Arjuna that your concept is wrong. He is actually destroying the false concepts which Arjuna was having. Based on ignorance, everybody has false concept. They think that this is called enjoyment, this is called happiness, this is the goal of life. So many people have these kind of concepts of enjoyment and goal of life in different way according to their knowledge. But here Krishna is giving proper knowledge to Arjuna and explaining to him, your understanding of enjoyment is false. Even if you want to enjoy matter, you can only enjoy when you fight in the war, when you fight with the Kauravas. How? He says, if you fight, there are two options. One is what? If you fight, you will win the war. If you fight and win the war, you will enjoy the kingdom. If you fight and lose the war and die in the battlefield, what is going to happen? You will go to the heavenly planets and enjoy. So, winning the war, you can enjoy in this life. Even loss in this war is also going to help you, because in the next life after death, you are going to go to Swarga because of performance of your duty. Because you have died in a dharma yuddha, you will definitely go to heaven and enjoy. My dear Arjuna, on the other hand, Krishna explains, if you don't do your duty of fighting, what is going to happen? You will suffer in this world. You know why? People will laugh at you. They will not think Arjuna left this battlefield out of compassion. What will people think? Arjuna left the battlefield out of cowardice. Oh, he was afraid of these Kauravas, that is why he ran away. Everybody will laugh at you. Insult is worse than death for a Kshatriya. That is why Arjuna fight. Suppose, for example, you don't fight the war. You will not only suffer in this world, you will go to hell in the next life. Why? Because of non-performance of duty. Non-performance of duty will take you hell in the next life. Non-performance of duty, maybe you may think that I am doing my duty of fighting with relatives because of compassion, but they will not think, others will not think about your compassion. They will only think that you are a fool, that you are a cowardice person. In this way, Krishna in these 7 verses speaks 4 points. Number 1, Arjuna, if you fight and win the war, you will enjoy the kingdom. If you fight and lose the war, you will enjoy in the next life in heavenly planets. If you fight, if you don't fight, you will suffer in this world because people will criticize you. And if you don't fight, what will happen? People will not only criticize you, in the next life, you are going to suffer in hellish condition. So these are the 4 points spoken by Krishna in these 7 verses to explain to Arjuna that your concept of enjoyment is wrong. Even if you think that one has to enjoy, the best thing is to fight. Don't bother about victory or defeat. You only bother about fighting. Because if you are victorious after fighting, you will enjoy the kingdom. If you die in the battlefield, you will enjoy the heavenly planets. But if you don't fight, people will criticize you, insult you, so you'll suffer in this world. In the next world also, after death, you will ultimately suffer in hellish condition. In this way, Arjuna was answered by Krishna about his second argument. The second argument of Arjuna was what? How can I enjoy? The first argument was Arjuna was what? Compassion. The compassion was answered in the first 20 verses spoken by Krishna, that is 11 to 30. The second argument of Arjuna, that I cannot enjoy if I fight, that was answered by Krishna in the next 7 verses, that means 31 to 37. Now we go to the 38th verse, which is a most important verse which Krishna has spoken in the second chapter to Arjuna. That is the 38th verse. Sukha dukkhe same kritva lava lava jaya jayo tato yuddha yuddhasva naivam papam apsyasi. So this is a very important verse. What was Arjuna's third argument to Krishna? Why I am not going to fight? Arjuna's third argument was, even if I kill the sinful people, I will attain sin, I will suffer for that. Now Krishna is telling to Arjuna, the process of getting rid of sin is not religiosity. Arjuna wanted to be religious. That was the biggest problem in Arjuna. Now, in this world, ignorance takes the form of religiosity. Many people have this idea that, he's a very religious person, very nice. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has removed this understanding which people have. If somebody is religious, they are considered to be very good. But actually, religious people are foolish. Ignorance is actually taking the form of religion. They want to cover their ignorance in the blanket of religion. If you see the entire country, especially in India, who is not religious, tell me? Everybody is religious in their own way. You go to anywhere in this world, anywhere in this country, some corner in everybody's house, there is a place for God. Isn't it? Some corner. They'll keep one corner for God. It may be anybody, some photograph or something will be there. Even if it is not there, when some problem comes, they say, oh God. At least this will come out of the mouth. Anybody who is born in this country, it is natural. But this is called religiosity. What is the meaning of religiosity? Religiosity means to think that I am God conscious based on ignorance. Actually you are ignorant, but think that I am God conscious. I am a very good person. I am a very nice person. I am a God fearing person. But underlying principle is what? Ignorance. So, not understanding I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Without the knowledge of the soul, if somebody does some activities which are like God conscious, that is called religion. So, without knowledge of the soul, concept of the soul, any activity, any arti, any puja, whatever it may be, any austerity, any jagran, all these things are religious. Now Arjuna was saying, I want to be religious. That is why Krishna told him, you are a fool, don't be religious. People say that Bhagavad Gita is a religious book. No, it is not a religious book. Srila Prabhupada used to say Bhagavad Gita is a scientific book. He says it's a book of science of soul. That is why Srila Prabhupada was taking a lot of pride in quoting this verse, Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshyami asheshataha. Krishna says to Arjuna that I am telling you knowledge, giving you knowledge. Not only knowledge, I am giving you savijnanam. I am giving you realized knowledge. And Srila Prabhupada used to say the science of Krishna consciousness. So he would never say the religion of Krishna consciousness. He never termed Krishna consciousness as a religion. Because Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he categorically told, very specifically at the end, don't be religious. Give up all religions. He told, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Actually, the third argument of Arjuna was, I want to be religious. I don't want to be a bad person, I want to be a religious person. But Krishna explained to Arjuna in this verse that even religious person is also bad. Covering up your badness on the name of God, that is religion. Covering up your ignorance on the name of God, that is religion. So here Krishna is explaining to Arjuna. He says, Sukha dukkhe samay kritva labha labho jaya jayo tatho yuddhya yuddhasva nainam papam apsasi. So he says, Sukha dukkhe samay kritva, being equiposed in both happiness and misery. Sukha and dukkha, we are two experiences in this life. Sometimes we are happy, sukha is there. Sometimes there is dukkha, misery is there. Sukha dukkhe samay kritva labha labho jaya jayo. Sometimes you get profit, sometimes you are in loss. Labha labho. Jaya jayo. Jaya means sometimes there is victory, sometimes there is, you lose the battle, you lose the war. Jaya jayo, defeat, victory and defeat. Tato yuddha yuddhasva. Don't worry about these things, just fight. Nainam papam apsasi. Tato yuddha yuddhasva. Just for the sake of fighting you fight, you will not be indulging yourself in sinful activities. Because Arjuna was afraid of sin. Actually, even fear of sin is also religiosity. So, the biggest problem in this country is religiosity. Now, Krishna has solved this problem by speaking Bhagavad Gita. Even though Krishna has spoke Bhagavad Gita and he gave Bhagavad Gita to people, they took the Bhagavad Gita and also became religious. How? They keep the Bhagavad Gita in a red color cloth, nicely keep it in the altar, and they worship it. They do the ding dong bell in front of it. And they say, this Bhagavad Gita was given to me by my grandmother. And my grandmother told me that was given to her by her grandfather's father or something like that. So this is about 500 years old Bhagavad Gita. Keep it safe. Don't open it. Even by mistake. Because it's very old, no? Papers will get spoiled. Let it be in the red cloth as it is. It should be as it is. Prabhupada also told Bhagavad Gita should be as it is. So you should keep it as it is. So that is a big problem. Keep Bhagavad Gita as it is. Don't touch it. No, what to speak of even reading? Don't even touch this. Very sacred. Sacred things should not be touched by sinful people. We are very sinful. There is a sacred book, don't touch it. So this is the problem. Like once I had kept a Bhagavad Gita stall and asking people to buy Bhagavad Gita. One person came and I gave the Bhagavad Gita. He told, no. I thought, you're some Muslim or something like that. I told, okay. Then I asked, why? Hum papi log hain. We are sinful people. I cannot touch this book. It's very sacred. He gave 1 hour lecture to me. How sacred is this Bhagavad Gita? Then I told, why? If it is so sacred, it's so important, so good, why didn't you read it? We are not qualified. Then I told him, like you are sick and you go to the doctor. Doctor gives you medicine. No, I should not touch the medicine. I am sick, no? I am so sick that medicine is so important, so wonderful, it should be preserved as it is. By me touching, something will happen to that medicine. So, Bhagavad Gita is actually the medicine. And we are sick, we are supposed to read it, understand it. So, Bhagavad Gita is a science. So, we don't want people to be religious, we want people to be spiritual. So, one can become spiritual only when they read this Bhagavad Gita. So, now, in the modern times, the same religiosity has taken a different form. You know what is that form? The form of religiosity these days is work is worship. This is the concept now. This concept came from the independence time onwards. It's about during independence time, that is the time the first prime minister of this country, he propagated this thing. He told just work is worship. And he went to one temple and he told, why are you worshipping? Because work itself is worship. All of you close his temples and then just go to work. But he was not knowing the human life is, the principle of human life is not work is worship. The principle of human life is worship is the only work. Now you may think, hey, how can you understand this thing? Without working, how will the nation work? How will the country run? How will the families run? How will the world run? People have this idea. For that, we all know that the kings in the past, especially those who are very spiritual, they were only worshipping Krishna. Just by worshipping, going to the temple and worshipping the Lord, they were 100% confident that their country will run nicely. Practically, they used to spend whole day in the temple, less in their own court. And the countries used to, everybody were happy, everybody was going nicely. Now here we find those who are working very hard, in spite of working very hard, what is happening? There is so much of scarcity, so much of problems. Why? Because there is a wrong concept which has entered the minds of the people. It is actually destroying the consciousness of the people. Work is worship. No, work is not worship. Worship is our only work. That is what Krishna is telling in this verse. He says, Tatho yuddha yujjasva. People think Krishna told in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna to fight because it's his duty to fight. No. Krishna did not tell Arjuna to fight because it is his duty to fight. Just imagine, if it is required for God to come and tell us it is our duty, why Krishna has to come and tell? In your office, your boss tells it is your duty to do this thing. Is he not telling? So why Krishna has to come and tell that thing? Every father mother says to the children, oh, a child, it is your duty to study, isn't it? And every wife is telling, if a husband is telling his wife, it's your duty to serve me. Everybody is telling that. Why Krishna has to come and tell the same thing? No, Krishna has not told this thing. For that, we should understand there is something higher to duty. People are so much grossly intelligent, they are very intelligent but grossly, that they think there is nothing beyond duty. They think duty is all in all. But there is something higher than duty. For that, I will give you a simple example. You go to the restaurant, a waiter serves you food. You come home, your mother also serves you food. Tell me, is there any difference? What is the difference?
Love.
Now, when you went to the restaurant, the waiter served you because it was his duty to serve. Is it not your mother's duty to serve? Yes. Your mother's duty is all to serve. But does she think it is my duty, that is why I am serving? No. She doesn't think so. It is my duty. So there is something beyond duty, that is love. Because when you do duty, immediately there is what? Rights. And today is a Republic Day, isn't it? That is the day when the Constitution was established. In the Constitution, you have something called Constitution, or the fundamental duties you have, isn't it? The fundamental duties. On the other hand, you have fundamental rights. As soon as you do some duties, what is there immediately? You have right on something. You work in office for one month. You did your duty for 1 month. Immediately what you have? The right over the salary. So if you do 1 month work, you have the right over the particular salary. In the same way, here also, when somebody thinks it is my duty, the duty is done with the expectation of some right. So here in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is not talking about duty, he is talking about love. Krishna is telling Arjuna, my Arjuna, you do this fight not because it is your duty, it is because I am telling you to fight. Tato yuddha yujjasva. And if you do this thing for my sake, profit and loss, jaya ajaya, victory and defeat, it is my business. You forget about it. You are just acting on my behalf. Since you are acting on my behalf, victory is mine, defeat is mine. Tato yuddha yujjasva nainam papam apsasi. You will not be indulged in any sin. If at all there is any sin, it is mine. That is how Krishna has spoken the concept of total surrender here, which Krishna has spoken at the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. The same thing Krishna has spoken in the 2nd chapter in this particular verse, 38th verse. Why? Because 2nd chapter is a condensed form of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Whatever Krishna wanted to speak to Arjuna, he spoke in the 2nd chapter. Actually, Bhagavad Gita gets over in the 2nd chapter. But Arjuna had some doubts. That is why it became 18 chapters. Otherwise, the entire Bhagavad Gita is there in the 2nd chapter. So, whatever Krishna gave further, that is in the 3rd chapter onwards, it is nothing but an explanation to the 2nd chapter. So, whatever Krishna spoke in the 18th chapter, that is Sarvadharman Parityaja, give up all kinds of religiosity and just surrender to me. I will take care of you. Don't worry. That thing Krishna speaks here in this verse, saying to Arjuna, Arjuna, don't worry about sin, or I will be afflicted. Don't cry. Just surrender to me and just do. Don't worry. Anything else is there, I will take care of it. So a devotee is not worried. A person who is surrendered to Krishna is not worried about anything. He is only worried whether I am surrendered to Krishna or not. Like a son holding the father's hand, he is not worried. He just crosses the traffic, crosses the road without any worry, because he is holding the hand of the father. So in the same way, if somebody holds the hand of Krishna and does all the activities, he is not bothered. He doesn't have to worry about anything. Now, if that is not the case, if not, we are not surrendered to Krishna, what is the case? Even if you don't do anything, still worry is there. Just by thinking, that may happen, this may happen, all these things. So that is how Krishna, he has described the total surrender in this particular 38th verse. Now in the 39th verse, Krishna speaks a very important point. He says, Yeshade vita sankhya buddhiyotthamim shinu buddhyayukto jyapartha nainam papamapsasi. He says, Yeshade abhita sankhya. Till now, I have spoken to you Sankhya. What is the meaning of Sankhya? Sankhya means analytical study of this world. That is called Sankhya. Now, the analysis or the distinction between the body and soul, what is body, what is soul, all these things were spoken by Krishna till now. That means from the 11th verse to the 30th verse. Yeshate abhita sankhya. Now what you are going to hear? Buddhi yogam tamimam shunu. Now here about this Buddhi Yoga. And what is this Buddhi Yoga? Buddhya yuktaya partha karmabandham prahasyasi. By engaging in this Buddhi Yoga, you will get rid of this karma bandhana. People ask, why are you suffering? The suffering is because of karma bandhana. Some people say, I am a good person. Oh, why still all suffering is coming to me only? Because you don't know what you have done in the previous life. All the miseries are experienced because of a karma bandhana. We are bound. Though we want to be free, the more we want to be free, the more we can become bound. Isn't it? It is like you tie a cow to a pole with a rope. The more the cow wants to free itself or to run away, what will happen? It will go round and round. The more it goes round, what will happen? The rope becomes shorter and shorter. So, the person who wants to become more and more free or just want to do whatever comes to the mind, actually in this world, the freedom is misunderstood. People think freedom means to do whatever comes to my mind. That is foolishness. To do whatever comes to your mind will result in more and more bondage, more and more suffering. Like we say, freedom. You are free in this country. What does it mean? That means you do whatever comes to the mind? No. You follow the law of the country, then you are free to move in this country. But if you break the law of the country and do whatever comes to the mind, you are put in jail. So freedom is not defined as whatever comes to the mind I do, that is freedom. No. Freedom is defined as the more you strictly follow the rules, the more free you are. So voluntarily accepting the rules and following them, that is freedom. Rather, breaking the rules and doing whatever comes to the mind, that is bondage. The more we try to become free, like this cow, the more bondage is there. So here, Eshat evita sankhya buddhyogatam shunu buddhyayuktoya partha karmabandham prahasyasi. We can get rid of this karma bandhana. We become totally free. How? By following the principle of Buddhi Yoga. Now, from this point onwards, Krishna explains Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga is being described till the 53rd verse of the 2nd chapter. So we'll have a small and a brief idea on what is this Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi means intelligence, Yoga means connection. So connecting our intelligence with Krishna, that is called Buddhi Yoga. Now here, what is the meaning of connecting our intelligence with Krishna? What is intelligence? What is the function of intelligence? The function of intelligence, apart from Vichakshana Shakti, discriminating, is this. You know something, you have some knowledge. Based on that knowledge, you do something. That is called intelligence. The thing which connects knowledge and activity, that is called intelligence. Now, to do any work, you require knowledge. And if you don't have knowledge, you cannot do any work. Suppose you have knowledge and don't do work, what is the use of knowledge? So you require both. You require knowledge and you require to do. So what is the thing which connects both knowledge and activity? That is intelligence. Now people have a very strange concept of Bhagavad Gita. They think in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has spoken jnana, karma and bhakti. So intelligent people take to jnana, active people take to karma, foolish people take to bhakti. That is their concept. But those who speak like that, they are foolish. Because Krishna has only given one thing. He has only spoken bhakti in the entire Bhagavad Gita. He has not spoken anything else. He has not spoken karma, he has not spoken jnana. What he has spoken is how to combine karma and jnana. And how to combine karma and jnana, that is intelligence, that is called Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. So bhakti is not a foolish activity. It is not meant for fools. Neither karma is meant for those people who are active. Neither jnana is meant for those who are intelligent. This kind of understanding which people have is a wrong understanding. Especially if you read any commentary on Bhagavad Gita, any essay and a talk on Bhagavad Gita, they just talk about this thing. They just say, for active people, Krishna has spoken karma. For intelligent people, he has spoken jnana. For foolish people, bhakti. It is a wrong concept. By Krishna used this word buddhi yoga. By using this word buddhi yoga, what he has told? That like you cannot do any activity without knowledge, and there is no use of having knowledge and not doing the activity, so there should be a combination of both. It is simple. Bread, butter, dal, rice, isn't it? Just give butter. It's of no use. How much you can take? It's like, and just give bread so dry. So when the bread and butter come together, that is the time you can eat properly. In the same way, you have rice only. What you cannot eat it. You just give dal, you cannot eat it. So if you have rice and dal together, then makes a combination. So combining karma and jnana, that is buddhi. So that is why he uses this word buddhi yoga. So in this buddhi yoga, Krishna has clearly told that how one should act on the platform of knowledge. So foolish people think acting itself is perfection. No. Perfection in action comes only when it's done on the platform of knowledge. You to do any activity without knowledge, if you do it, what happens? You mess up the activity. That's what is happening in the entire world. People are just crazy working hard. There is no platform on which they are working. The platform of knowledge is not there. If somebody works in the platform of knowledge, then that work will give you bliss. That work will give you happiness. Tell me in this world, who is happy in doing their work? Nobody is happy doing their work. Any work you say, the students are not happy with their work of studies, the father and the mother, they are not happy with their computer or whatever profession they are in. They are not happy. Why? Because they are not working on the platform of knowledge. And what is that knowledge? Krishna has already given that you are not this body, you are spirit, soul. Now somebody says, oh, I know, I am not this body and spirit, soul. But just knowing is not enough. It has to be realized. So to realize the knowledge that I am not this body, I am spirit, soul, one need to work for Krishna. So when you work for Krishna, based on the platform of the knowledge what you have got, that is I am not this body and spirit, soul, then what will happen? The realization will happen. What realization happens? That I am not this body and spirit, soul. Self-realization happens. So there are always, it has been a history of, cannot even say how long it is, right? From actually the dawn of creation. There are some people who say, give up work, take sannyas and then be aloof. Don't do anything. Just go meditate. Or some people say, you are all burden to the society. Work hard, just go on working. Work is worship. So these are two extremes. One, those who say, just give up everything, take sannyas and then just go meditate. On the other hand, just go on working like a donkey. So neither we want to become a donkey, neither we want to be a foolish pretender meditator. So we want to see how we can combine both and then bring out the essence of life. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Krishna explained this thing. This yoga is kushala. Karmasu kaushalam. The expertise, the art of work. Kaushala means art. The expertise, the art of working is to combine knowledge and work. The combination of knowledge and work, that is called karma yoga or buddhi yoga or nishkama karma yoga. Now, before Krishna explains this buddhi yoga, he